Welcome to the Fluent English Podcast, where English feels like home. Hello, and welcome to another relaxing English listening practice. If you want to improve your English naturally, you are in the right place. Today's story is written especially for English learners from A1 to B2 level. The language is simple, clear, and natural. Listen carefully, enjoy the story, and let English become a part of your daily life. Find a comfortable place, take a deep breath, and let's begin. The first light of the morning slowly entered Daniel's small bedroom through the white curtains. The room was simple but clean. There was a wooden bed, a study table, a bookshelf with many novels, and a small green plant near the window. The air was cool, and the sound of birds filled the quiet neighborhood. Daniel opened his eyes, stretched his arms, and smiled softly. Every new morning felt like a new beginning. He believed that every sunrise brought another chance to learn something new. Daniel was 24 years old. He lived in a peaceful town called Greenfield. It was not a big city, but it was beautiful. There were wide streets, colorful flowers, friendly neighbors, and many old trees that became golden during autumn. Daniel loved this town because it reminded him that happiness could be found in simple things. He got out of bed, folded his blanket carefully, and opened the window. Fresh air entered the room immediately. He closed his eyes for a moment and listened to the sounds outside. A baker was opening his shop. Children were laughing while walking to school. Someone was riding a bicycle. A dog barked happily as it chased a ball across the street. Daniel smiled. "This is going to be a good day," he whispered. He walked into the kitchen and prepared a simple breakfast. He toasted 2 slices of bread, fried an egg, cut a banana into small pieces, and made a cup of hot coffee. While eating, he opened a small notebook. Every morning he wrote 3 things he was thankful for. Today he wrote, "I have another chance. I have good health. I can continue learning." Writing these simple sentences always made him feel calm. After breakfast, he put on a light blue shirt, dark trousers, and clean black shoes. He checked his backpack. Inside were a notebook, 2 pens, a water bottle, his lunch, and a novel that he planned to read during the bus ride. Outside, the streets were becoming busier. Shops were opening, buses were arriving, and people were beginning their daily routines. Daniel enjoyed watching people because every person had a different story. At the bus stop, an elderly man stood alone holding a walking stick. Daniel greeted him politely. "Good morning." The old man smiled. "Good morning, young man. Beautiful weather today." "Yes," Daniel replied. "It feels wonderful." The bus arrived a few minutes later. Daniel helped the old man step inside before finding his own seat. As the bus moved through the town, sunlight reflected from the windows of tall buildings. A little girl waved happily from another bus, and Daniel waved back. Small moments like these always made him happy. While reading his novel, he noticed a sentence that stayed in his mind. "Every great journey begins with one small step." He quietly repeated the sentence several times. When the bus stopped near the business district, Daniel got off and walked toward a modern glass building where he worked. The building looked impressive with its tall windows and beautiful garden at the entrance. Standing near the front door was Emma. She held a cup of coffee and smiled warmly. "Good morning, Daniel." "Good morning, Emma. You look very cheerful today. I feel like today will be special." Emma laughed. "I hope you're right." Together they entered the office. Inside, people greeted each other kindly. Some were discussing projects. Others were preparing for meetings. The office felt busy but welcoming. Daniel loved working there because everyone respected one another. Nobody was afraid to ask questions, and everyone enjoyed learning together. Their manager, Mr. Harris, called everyone into the meeting room. "I have exciting news," he announced. "Our company has received an important international project. We will work with people from different countries. This means communication will be very important." Everyone looked excited. Daniel felt both nervous and curious. Working with international clients had always been his dream. Mr. Harris continued, "Remember, success is not only about intelligence. It is also about kindness, patience, honesty, and teamwork." Daniel wrote every word in his notebook. He believed that good advice should never be forgotten. The meeting ended, and everyone returned to work. Daniel spent the morning answering emails, organizing documents, and helping a new employee understand the company's software. Time passed quickly because he enjoyed solving problems. During lunch, Daniel sat with Emma in the small garden behind the office. Butterflies flew between colorful flowers, and a gentle breeze moved the leaves above them. Emma looked at the sky. "Have you ever wanted to travel around the world?" Daniel smiled. "Every day." "Where would you go first?" "I think I would visit Japan. I want to experience the culture, meet new people, and see the cherry blossoms." Emma nodded. "I want to visit Italy. I've always dreamed of walking through old streets and eating fresh pasta." Daniel laughed. "Maybe one day we'll both travel." "I hope so." Neither of them knew that this simple conversation would become the beginning of an unforgettable adventure that would change their lives forever. Far away, in another city, someone was preparing a letter that would soon arrive at Daniel's office. That single letter would open the door to opportunities, friendships, unexpected challenges, and a journey that neither Daniel nor Emma could imagine. And this was only the beginning. The next morning, Daniel arrived at the office a little earlier than usual. The sky was clear, and the fresh morning air made him feel energetic. As he walked through the entrance, he noticed that everyone seemed busier than before. Some people were carrying folders, others were talking on the phone, and a few employees were standing near the reception desk, discussing something important. Daniel placed his backpack beside his desk, turned on his computer, and began checking his emails. A few minutes later, Emma walked toward him with a bright smile. "Good morning, Daniel," she said. "Good morning, Emma," Daniel replied. "You look excited." Emma laughed. "I have some interesting news. Mr. Harris wants to see both of us in his office." Daniel wondered why the manager had called them so early, but he stood up calmly and followed Emma. When they entered the office, Mr. Harris welcomed them warmly. He was holding a white envelope with a blue international stamp. "Please have a seat," he said. Daniel and Emma sat quietly. Mr. Harris looked at the letter before speaking. "This arrived yesterday evening after everyone had gone home. It is from one of our international partner companies." Daniel became curious. Mr. Harris slowly opened the envelope and carefully unfolded the letter. "Our partner company is organizing a global training program," he explained. "Young professionals from different countries will work together for 3 months. They will learn communication skills, leadership, teamwork, and project management while solving real business challenges." Emma's eyes became wide with excitement. Daniel listened carefully without saying a word. Mr. Harris smiled. "Our company has been invited to send 2 employees." He looked directly at Daniel and Emma. "After discussing your work with the senior management team, we have chosen both of you." For a moment, the room became completely silent. Daniel could hardly believe what he had just heard. Emma covered her mouth with surprise. Finally, Daniel asked softly, "Are you serious?" Mr. Harris laughed. "Yes, I am completely serious. Congratulations to both of you." Emma smiled brightly. "Thank you so much. This is an amazing opportunity." Daniel also thanked his manager. Inside his heart, he felt both excitement and responsibility. He knew this opportunity could change his future. Mr. Harris continued, "The program will begin in 1 month. During that time, you must prepare yourselves. You will meet people from many cultures. You should improve your communication, learn about different traditions, and always remain respectful and open-minded." Daniel nodded. "We will do our best." After leaving the office, Daniel and Emma walked quietly down the hallway. Neither of them spoke for several seconds because they were still thinking about the wonderful news. Finally, Emma laughed. "Can you believe this?" Daniel smiled. "Honestly, no. Yesterday, I was only dreaming about traveling. Today it might actually happen." They spent the rest of the morning working, but every now and then they smiled at each other because they were thinking about the exciting journey ahead. During lunch, they sat outside in the small garden. Emma opened her notebook and began making a list. "What are you writing?" Daniel asked. "Everything I want to learn before the trip," she replied. "Better English speaking, world geography, cultural traditions, famous landmarks, and maybe a few basic phrases in different languages." Daniel smiled. "That's a good idea." He took out his own notebook and wrote a sentence across the top of the page. "Learning never stops." In the afternoon, Daniel decided to visit the public library after work. The library was one of his favorite places in Greenfield. It was quiet, peaceful, and filled with thousands of books. As he entered, the familiar smell of paper and wood made him feel comfortable. Mrs. Wilson, the librarian, smiled when she saw him. "Good evening, Daniel. Looking for another adventure?" she asked. Daniel laughed. "Yes, but this time a real adventure." He told her about the international program. Mrs. Wilson looked genuinely happy. "I'm very proud of you. Books can teach us many things, but traveling teaches us lessons that no book can fully explain." She walked toward a bookshelf and returned with 3 books. One was about world cultures. Another explained effective communication. The third contained inspiring stories of people who had traveled around the world. "Take these," she said. "I think they will help you." Daniel thanked her sincerely. That evening, he sat near his bedroom window reading the first book. He learned about greetings in different countries, traditional festivals, food, music, and customs. He realized that although people around the world spoke different languages and followed different traditions, they all smiled, laughed, hoped, and dreamed in very similar ways. Before going to bed, Daniel looked up at the stars through his window. The night sky seemed endless. He wondered how many people around the world were looking at the same stars at that very moment. Somewhere far away, another young person might also be preparing for the same international program. Perhaps they would become friends. Perhaps they would work together. Perhaps they would change each other's lives forever. Daniel closed his notebook and wrote one final sentence before sleeping. "The world is much bigger than my fears, and every new journey begins with the courage to say yes." With that thought, he turned off the light, unaware that the weeks ahead would bring unexpected friendships, difficult challenges, joyful discoveries, and memories that would stay with him for the rest of his life. And that was only the beginning of Daniel and Emma's exciting journey. In the next episode, they will meet people from different countries, face their first real communication challenge, and take another step toward their dreams. Thank you so much for listening to the Fluent English Podcast. We hope this story helped you improve your English naturally. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new English story. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and remember, here at the Fluent English Podcast, English truly feels like home. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.